My name is Maya. I work in a big office building in the city. Lots of glass windows, lots of busy people walking fast. My job is okay. I help manage projects. I sit at a computer most of the day. Life was simple, maybe a little bit lonely sometimes. I lived alone in a small apartment. It was clean and quiet, maybe too quiet. Then I met Adam. He started working on my team. He came from another department. He had a nice smile. His eyes were kind. He was funny too. He always had a joke. He made me laugh. Lunch breaks became brighter when he was there. We started talking more, not just about work, about movies, about music, about dreams. Adam was easy to talk to. He listened. Really listened. He remembered small things I said, like my favorite type of coffee, or the book I was reading. It felt nice. I hadn't felt that connection in a long time. He made the gray office days feel colorful. I remember one afternoon. We were working late on a big project. Everyone else had gone home. Just me and Adam. The office was quiet. We ordered pizza. We sat at a big table. We talked and worked. He told me about his weekend plans. Going hiking with friends, he said. He made everything sound fun. I felt happy just listening to him, but then sometimes I noticed things, small things. He always took his phone calls outside the main office. He never talked much about his home life. He wore a simple gold ring on his left hand. I saw it. My heart felt a little heavy when I saw it. But I pushed that feeling away. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I was wrong. I wanted to be wrong. One Friday evening, we finished work late again. We walked out of the building together. It was raining softly. The city lights reflected on the wet street. It looked beautiful. Adam opened his umbrella. He held it over both of us. We walked slowly towards the subway station. He looked at me. His eyes were serious for a moment. "Maya," he said, "I really enjoy spending time with you." My heart jumped. "I enjoy spending time with you too, Adam," I said softly. We stood there for a moment, just looking at each other. The rain fell around us. I wanted to stay there forever, but the moment passed. He walked me to my train. "Have a good weekend," he said. "You too," I replied. As the train pulled away, I watched him standing there. I felt happy, but also scared. Something was starting. Something I wasn't sure I could handle. The next week, things felt different between us. There was a spark, a feeling. We looked at each other more. We found reasons to talk, little excuses to be near each other. One day, he sent me a message on the work chat. Not about work, just a funny picture. It made me smile all afternoon. Then he asked me to meet him for coffee, away from the office, during lunch break, at a small cafe hidden down a side street. My heart said yes immediately, but my mind felt nervous. Why meet somewhere hidden? Why not the usual place downstairs? But I went. We sat at a small table in the corner. It felt different, more personal. He told me more about himself, but still, not everything. He talked about his hobbies, his love for old movies. He asked me about my dreams. I told him I wanted to travel one day, see the world. He listened so intently. He made me feel important, special. As we were leaving the cafe, he gently touched my arm. "Thank you for coming, Maya," he said. His touch sent a warm feeling through me. I looked up at him, and then he told me the words I think I knew were coming, but didn't want to hear. "Maya, I need to be honest," he started. His voice was low. "I'm married." The world seemed to stop for a second. The noise of the street faded. Married. The word echoed in my head. I knew it. Deep down, I think I knew it from the ring, from the secret phone calls. But hearing him say it made it real. My chest felt tight. I couldn't speak. He looked sad, genuinely sad. "My marriage, it hasn't been good for a long time," he continued. "We live separate lives, really. We stay together for, well, it's complicated." He looked down at his hands. "Meeting you, Maya. It made me feel alive again. I didn't plan this. I didn't want to hurt you." Hurt me? I was already hurting. I felt confused, angry, sad. But also, I still felt that connection to him. I still remembered his laugh, his kind eyes. Why did it have to be like this? Why didn't you tell me sooner? I finally whispered. My voice was shaky. "I was scared," he said honestly. "Scared of losing this. Scared of losing you." I didn't know what to say, what to do. Part of me wanted to run away, to shout at him, to cry. Another part wanted to understand, wanted to believe him, wanted to hold on to the feeling he gave me. I just looked at him, lost. He reached out, very slowly, and touched my cheek. "I understand if you hate me," he said. "I understand if you never want to see me outside of work again." I pulled away slightly. "I need to think," I said. I turned and walked back towards the office. My legs felt weak. My mind was racing. He was married. He had a wife, maybe children. He said it was complicated. What did that mean? Could I believe him? Could I be involved in something like this? It felt wrong, so wrong. But when I got back to my desk, a message from him popped up. "I am truly sorry, Maya." I stared at the screen. My heart felt heavy, like a stone. I knew what the right thing to do was. I should stop this, right now, before it went any further. I should protect my heart. I should respect his marriage, even if he didn't. But I couldn't forget the way he looked at me, the way he made me laugh, the feeling of not being lonely when I was with him. It was like a drug. I wanted more, even though I knew it was dangerous, even though I knew it was wrong. That day, the secret began. I didn't reply to his message right away, but I didn't block him either. I left the door open, just a little crack, and that's how our hidden love started. That's how I started living a lie. The next few weeks felt like walking a tightrope. At work, we tried to act normal. just colleagues. Friendly, but professional. We talked about projects. We attended meetings. But sometimes our eyes would meet. Across the room. A small smile. A secret shared only between us. It was exciting, thrilling, like having a secret language no one else understood. Then came the secret meetings, always away from the office. Hidden cafes, quiet parks far from where anyone we knew might go. Sometimes, just sitting in his car parked on a dark street, talking for hours. He told me more about his marriage. His wife's name was Clara. They had been together since college. He said the love was gone. They were just roommates. He said they argued a lot. He said he felt trapped. Did I believe him? I wanted to. I really wanted to believe that I wasn't breaking a happy home. I wanted to believe he was suffering too, that he needed me. He made me feel needed. He said things like, "You're the only one who understands me, Maya." Or, "Being with you is the only time I feel happy." These words were like fuel for my confused heart. They made me feel important. They made the guilt fade away, just for a little while. Our meetings were our escape. We laughed. We held hands when no one was looking. He kissed me for the first time in his car, parked under a big tree on a rainy night. It felt electric, magical, but also filled with sadness, because I knew when the kiss ended, he would have to go home. To her. Living the lie was hard. It started small. Lying to my friends about why I was busy on a Saturday afternoon. Making excuses not to join colleagues for drinks after work because Adam couldn't be there with me openly. My life started to revolve around his schedule, his availability. I checked my phone constantly, waiting for his message. My heart jumped every time it buzzed. Was it him? Could we meet? The stress was always there. Under the surface, like a low hum. Fear of being discovered. At work, I felt like everyone was watching me. Did they notice how often Adam and I talked? Did they see the way we looked at each other? Every time my boss called me into her office, my heart pounded. Was this it? Had someone found out? It never was. But the fear didn't go away. There were close calls. One Saturday, we were walking in a park quite far from the city center. We thought we were safe. We were holding hands, laughing. Then I saw her, Sarah, a woman from another department at work. My blood ran cold. I quickly dropped Adam's hand. I turned my head away, hoping she hadn't seen us, or at least hadn't seen us holding hands. Adam saw the panic in my eyes. "What's wrong?" he whispered. "Someone from work," I managed to say. We walked quickly in the other direction. My heart was beating so fast. Did she see us? Would she say something? For the next week at work, I avoided Sarah. I felt sick every time I saw her. She never said anything. Maybe she didn't see, or maybe she just didn't care. But the fear stayed. It was a reminder. This secret life was fragile. It could break at any moment. Another time, we were having dinner in a dimly lit restaurant. Again, far from our usual places. Adam's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID. His face changed. He quickly declined the call. "Sorry," he mumbled. But a minute later, it rang again. He sighed. "I have to take this," he said. He stepped outside. I watched him through the window. He looked stressed. He ran his hand through his hair. He was talking quickly, quietly. I couldn't hear the words, but I knew. It was her, his wife. Reality crashed down on me. He had a whole other life, a life I wasn't part of, a life that called him, pulled him away from me. He came back inside, forced a smile. "Sorry about that," he said, but the mood was broken. The magic was gone. We finished dinner quickly. The silence between us felt heavy. He never promised he would leave her, not directly. He would say things like, "I can't keep living like this," or "Things need to change soon," or "Just give me some time, Maya. Please." I held on to those words, those vague promises. I built my hopes on them. I imagined a future where we could be together, openly, without secrets, without lies. Was I fooling myself? Probably. Deep down, I think I knew. But admitting it was too painful. The guilt was eating me alive. I looked at myself in the mirror sometimes. I didn't recognize the person staring back. Who was this woman? Lying, sneaking around, involved with a married man. Was this me? I used to think I was a good person, an honest person. But now? I felt ashamed. I couldn't tell my family. I couldn't tell my closest friends. The secret isolated me. It built walls around my heart. Adam was the only one who knew my secret, but he was also the source of my pain. It was a confusing, lonely place to be. I tried to stop. Many times, after a particularly bad day filled with anxiety, or after seeing a happy family laughing in the park, I would tell myself, "This is it. I have to end this." I would message Adam. "We can't do this anymore," I'd write. He would reply immediately. "Please, Maya, don't say that. Let's talk." And we would talk. He would tell me how much I meant to him, how unhappy he was, how I was his only hope. And I would melt. My resolve would disappear, and I would fall back into the secret, back into the lie. It felt like an addiction. I knew it was destroying me. But I couldn't walk away. How long could this go on? Every day felt like walking on thin ice, waiting for it to crack, waiting for everything to fall apart. The secret was getting heavier, too heavy to carry. Something had to give. I just didn't know when or how. The pressure kept building. It felt like a balloon being filled with too much air, ready to pop at any second. The lies felt heavier each day. Avoiding colleagues' questions about my weekends felt harder. Seeing happy couples walking down the street sent pangs of sadness through me. Why couldn't that be me? Why couldn't Adam and I walk freely, holding hands in the sunshine? Adam seemed stressed, too. He looked tired often. He sighed more. Sometimes he would be quiet for long periods when we were together, lost in his own thoughts. Thoughts he didn't share with me. I wondered what he was thinking about. Was it his wife? His children? He never mentioned children. But the way he avoided talking about home made me suspect. What if he had kids? The why thought made my stomach turn. Was I helping to break apart a family with children? The guilt became a constant companion. One rainy Tuesday evening, Adam canceled our planned secret meeting at the last minute. A short message. Something came. Up at home. Can't make it. So sorry. Just like that. I was already at the hidden cafe, waiting. I had rushed through my work, made excuses to leave early. And now? Nothing. I sat there alone, staring at my cold cup of tea. Tears welled up in my eyes. This was my life, now, waiting for stolen moments, moments that could be canceled without warning, because his real life always came first. Always. I felt a wave of anger, mixed with deep sadness. I deserved more than this, didn't I? I deserved someone who chose me first, someone who didn't have to hide me, someone whose life wasn't a complication. I paid for my tea and walked out into the rain. I didn't have an umbrella. I let the cold drops fall on my face. I walked for a long time, thinking, crying. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Adam's canceled message. Something came up at home. What did that mean? Was his wife sick? Was it an anniversary he forgot? Was he playing happy families while I sat alone in a cafe? The uncertainty was torture. I decided I couldn't live like this anymore. I needed answers. I needed truth. Or I needed to walk away for good. The next day at work, I asked Adam if we could talk. Privately. We found an empty meeting room. My heart was pounding. My hands were sweaty. I took a deep breath. Adam, I started. My voice trembled slightly. I can't do this anymore. The waiting, the secrets, the guilt. It's too much. He looked pained. Maya, please. No. Listen, I interrupted gently. I need to know. What is really happening with your marriage? Are you ever going to leave her? Do you have children? The questions hung in the air between us. Adam looked down. He was silent for a long time. Then he looked up. His eyes were wet. Yes, he whispered. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. They are young. Hearing him say it felt like a physical blow. Children. He had children. All this time, he had hidden that from me. Or maybe I hadn't wanted to see it. The image of 2 small children flashed in my mind. Their father sneaking around with another woman. With me. I felt sick. Why didn't you tell me, Adam? I asked. My voice was barely a whisper now. I was afraid. He said again. That old excuse. I was afraid you would leave me if you knew. Maya, I do love you. But my kids, I can't hurt them. I can't leave them. Finally, The truth. The truth I think I always knew. He wasn't going to leave. He couldn't. He shouldn't. His children needed him. His wife, Clara, whatever their problems, was the mother of his children. And I was. The other woman. The secret. The mistake. Tears streamed down my face now. But they weren't just sad tears. They were tears of realization. Of release. "Then we can't continue," I said. My voice was surprisingly steady. "It's not fair. Not fair to me, not fair to Clara, and definitely not fair to your children." Adam reached for my hand. "Maya, we can figure something out." I pulled my hand away. "No, Adam, there's nothing to figure out. This has to end. Now." He looked broken. He started to cry, too. "I'm so sorry, Maya. I never meant to cause you this pain." "I know," I said. And strangely, I believed him. He wasn't a bad man. He was just lost, weak, and he had pulled me into his confusion. But we did cause pain, and we need to stop. Leaving that meeting room felt like walking away from a car crash. Shaky, weak, heartbroken, but also strangely free. The secret was out between us. The decision was made. It hurt more than anything I had ever felt. But it was also a relief. The constant hiding, the lying, the anxiety. It was over. The next few weeks were incredibly difficult. Seeing Adam at work every day was torture. We avoided eye contact. We didn't speak unless we absolutely had to for work. The air between us was thick with unspoken words. Unresolved pain. Some colleagues noticed the change, the sudden coldness between us. There were whispers, questions, but no one knew the real story. Our secret remained hidden from the world, even in its ending. I cried a lot during that time, in my quiet apartment, on my lonely walks. I missed Adam terribly. I missed the connection, the laughter, the feeling of being loved, even if it was a complicated love. But I also knew I had made the right decision. For everyone, including myself. Slowly, very slowly, I started to heal. I focused on my work. I reconnected with my friends. I told them I had been going through a hard time without giving details. They were supportive. They invited me out. We went for dinner. We watched movies. We talked. It felt good to laugh again, to be myself again, without secrets. I started doing things for me. I joined a yoga class. I started reading more. I even planned a small solo trip. Something I had always dreamed of but never dared to do. Just a weekend away to the coast, walking on the beach alone, listening to the waves, breathing the fresh sea air. It felt liberating. Healing wasn't easy. There were days I slipped back into sadness. Days I missed Adam so much it physically hurt. Days I wondered if I had made a mistake, but then I would remember the constant fear, the guilt, the feeling of being second best, and I knew I couldn't go back to that. I deserved more. I learned a lot from that experience. I learned that secrets are heavy burdens. They poison everything they touch. I learned that love should make you feel safe and cherished, not scared and hidden. I learned that sometimes the hardest decisions are the right ones. And I learned that I am stronger than I thought. Living a lie almost broke me. But walking away, choosing honesty, choosing myself, helped me find my way back. It was painful, but it was necessary. Now, my life is quiet again, but it's a different quiet. It's a peaceful quiet. I still work in the same office. Adam eventually moved to a different company. Seeing him leave was hard. Another final goodbye. But it was also necessary for both of us to move on. I don't know what the future holds for me. Maybe I will find love again one day. A love that is open and honest. Maybe I won't. But I know now that I can be okay on my own. I am not lonely in the same way. I am learning to enjoy my own company, to build a life that is true. If you are listening to this, and maybe you are in a difficult situation, maybe you are hiding something or hurting, please know you are not alone. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to make mistakes. But living a lie will eventually hurt you. Be brave. Choose honesty. Choose yourself. It might be the hardest thing you ever do, but freedom, real freedom, is worth it. Healing is possible. You can find your way back to peace. You can do this too. Keep going.